My experience with poker and playing poker and my poker mindset and fortitude actually in a lot of ways I think is very subtly contributing to how I'm handling this crisis and disaster.
It's a firestorm fueled by hurricane force winds raining down on America's second biggest city. The flames roaring into the most destructive fires in California's history.
As Danny walked out of the neighborhood and I'm waiting to pick him up to meet him on the PCH, he texts me and he turned back around and he looked at the house and took a video. And you literally see the flames for the first time right behind our house, and his text just said, "It's over." And it's kind of weird. I tell him after the fact, I was like, he took the last walk through our neighborhood and he didn't even know it. As he's walking away from the house, the neighborhood where we walked our dogs and walked to our neighbors' houses. The amount of people who have reached out or who have opened their doors, the amount of strangers or friends of friends who have just mailed a check-in and said, "This is for you." And I'm just feeling such a sense of family from PokerOrg right now. The way that everybody at PokerOrg has stepped up, from Eric multiple times checking in, finding out what I need, to Sarah sending the gift card, to Aaliyah. It's a little less of a financial gift, but she's been texting me photos of my favorite food. I've lived in the Palisades for 7 years, and this is the third time I've been evacuated, so I'm kind of accustomed to, what do you grab? But the other 2 times they were Malibu fires, and I think you have this false sense of security in thinking, well, the other 2 times they never let it get close to the neighborhoods. They just always kept it up into the mountains. I was actually sitting at my desk when my fiance came up and just said, "Have you looked outside?" And my desk faces the complete opposite direction as where the fires were. So my doors are completely open. I'm sitting there having a lovely, computer work day. And I step outside and look around the corner and go, this is the closest I've ever seen smoke to our house. It was right on our back hill. I pack up one car with both of my dogs. All of the gridlock from people coming out of Malibu and coming from the further areas, I just knew that getting a car out of our neighborhood, if everybody starts panicking, getting into chaos, that's going to be a hard thing to do. So I hit the road, and I just planned to go to a friend's house, very quickly. We have a lot of friends messaging us saying you can stay here if you need to. It's going to take me 2 hours to go 12 miles. My fiance had stayed home because he's like, you know what, I'm going to stay home, kind of lock things down here. I can just always walk out. So I'm now trying to get out a different way down PCH, and my ring cam notifications start popping up. And I look at it and I see him standing in the front of our house, hosing the house down, as I can see in the corner of our front ring cam, clouds and smoke dangerously close to our house now. He walks out, gets in the car, and we basically packed the car with, jewelry valuables, our passports. I had 3 photo boxes and 2 crates of old ass expensive wine were our priorities. And then the dogs. So basically my 70-pound husky sat on my lap in the car because there was no space for Danny. So sat on my lap as we drive to our friend's house in Hollywood. The first moment that I see flames on our ring cam, probably 4 houses up from us, I was like, oh my God, I'm seeing flames on our street. And then I just proceed to see the flame 4 houses down. And then the minute I see our next door neighbor's yard completely on fire, I was like, oh, this is going down. I was like, I need a hug. And we just broke down and started crying, kind of realizing that your house is burning down. We have so many friends in LA who travel and go other places. And so we had a friend who was out of town that says, take my house in the Hollywood Hills. We unpack, we get groceries. We're like, okay, we'll at least be here for 4 days. And we go upstairs and we sit down in the hot tub. And just for the first time in this cloud of surrealness, we get in the hot tub. And all of a sudden we hear a helicopter. And all of a sudden we're like, why are there helicopters here? I get on my Fire app, which has become my best friend, and I see that we are now in an evacuation zone again. So within 24 hours, we evacuated 2 houses. We go back to the friend's house. Fast forward, now I'm in Palm Springs. I'm at my 3rd accommodation in a week for where we've been. I want to say that every day there's a little more surrender and a little more acceptance. And some days, you just count all the blessings and all the things you're grateful for. At least we were able to physically grab something. I could have been out of town. We could have had young kids that we had to, grab from school. There's just so many little blessings we think about, but it doesn't matter how optimistic you are or how much you are able to see the silver lining. There's just then days where the massive grief and loss hits you. And I stood in the closet at this new place the other day, and friends have given me, clothes and given me things. And I just stood there looking at a bunch of stuff in the closet that wasn't mine, kind of not knowing what to wear because I'm not familiar. And I just thought to myself, kind of for the first time, as I've had a lot of fortitude in the last couple of days, I just thought, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this anymore. This is really hard, and I want to skip this one. Bright light in all of this, and in any tragedy, is the kindness of people. So speaking of some of the people in the poker community who've supported me, Lena Evans, who has been through her own burnt down house wildfire like 20 years ago in San Diego, instantly is like, what do you need? She said, I've packed a car full of things, including luggage that you can use. I'm having it driven to you in Palm Springs. Take whatever you want, donate the rest. And she literally provided me 5 suitcases full of clothes. So I've been like shopping Lena's closet in my own Airbnb the last couple days. Maria Ho is going to be housing us this week. And I also heard that Conrad Simpson, who I'm not even very close with, we've just professionally worked together a few times, instantly was like, should we start a GoFundMe for Tiffany? And just the thought that somebody would think of me and think of me in that way. So the kindness and outpouring has been overwhelming. And I will say it's one of the main things that is lifting my spirits and carrying me through this tragedy, is feeling such a sense of empowerment and unity from so many people. I feel the opposite of alone. This devastation is massive and it's long term. As the months go by, you feel more normality and you start to forget what has happened. For the people that are living in those moments and spaces, it is a long road. And so I just want to encourage people, whatever you're inclined to do right now, if there's not some specific place or resource, save that thought, and 6 months from now, go find somebody that needs you then. Wait for the day I have another home and bring me a housewarming gift and something to put in that home, because I have nothing to put in that home in the future. I'll be excited for the day I feel like playing again, because I think that'll mean I'm more normal or more whole again. Right now, the idea of sitting down and playing is I think, oh my God, that sounds like so much work. And it's funny because poker is usually the thing that I love to do, and it's such a treat to do. And I understand that's just part of my healing and my grief process, but I'll be excited. I'm waiting for the moment when it naturally hits me. Oh, I want to get online and grind today. I want to go to the casino and play today. Because I love that feeling and I love the game. So I'll be curious to see when it returns to me.